Right, wisdom, and Zeus, and Olympus, right, and Oceania. I'm talking about the Titanic, right, 1912. I think that was a timeline shift then, and then maybe I don't know if it was a split, but I got this sort of feeling that Titanic or a ship, let's just call it a ship, of that whatever it was, arrived in New York, and a ship didn't. So one ship sank and one ship arrived, right? And this ship had a sister ship, okay? So do you see that pattern anywhere of a sister ship and another ship? One arrived and one didn't, and see the time of that. And anyway, Olympus was called the sister ship of Titanic, right? So it was called Olympus, and that was in Liverpool. So if they passed each other, then they could have like that, and the good guys that were supposed to go to the Rose line went to the bad line, and the bad guys that were supposed to go to the GMT line went. I mean, whatever it was, they made you go the wrong way. So the people that were supposed to do the Federal Reserve and reset it all and everything and do it properly, I think they were tricked, and they went somewhere else, in a different New York, like Joker, New York, right? I think they arrived there and not the Rose Line, okay? And I think that's because the Rose Line was stacked with films and shit, right? Or it wasn't stacked then, but it's stacked now, right? I think Netflix is there, right? And so uh, so if they sank Olympus, what kind of effect would that have on the source of Zeus and the Greeks, right? If that's true, right? And they also had a big tanks in the bottom of the hulls of the ships. And were they storing consciousness there in some kind of endless thought fusion to current the sea there, where it is in the deep sea, and get all these spirits to just live in the water there, trapped under the water, kind of in this false current, and then outside sea, which is a false outside iron of a, you know what I mean, like a false kind of middle and all that. So if that's true, then Zeus pulls up Olympus from where the Titanic is. If that's true, the Olympus version of that, Zeus pulls up, right? So the Olympus never sank, and we haven't got another a valued source that sinks, right? So ravens, right? And if that's true, then you tell the highest about that, and truth on that, please. And we think we're in the sunken Olympus realm, and not the sunken Titanic realm. If that makes any sense, you might be able to find us a bit better from that. So, Masters of Time, can you have a look at what happened then in 1912 and where people went when that huge shift happened, and what lines were caused from it? So, how many lines were created from that event in all space and time? So, you see all the timelines are patterned up and down from that, and where did they go, right? And how many false timelines were created from all that bullshit, right? And did that create a big scatter of nonsense for so long? It's not too long, but enough nonsense for us not to sort of know what's going on, right? And it was just that from that period, 1912, and it was a trick, and that's why the Greeks, the Olympus kind of way, just sort of faded, didn't it? But is that why, right? And the Viking way faded too. And so the Viking way is wanting to come back to true nature. You can tell that. And I expect the Greeks want to come back to true nature too. So you're not fighting each other, okay? And I expect the Romans have had enough of going around in circles and being control freaks. So I expect they want to come back out of it too, because they were probably cast to be that anyway. So it's all a load of old stories, really, that I think was something to do with a centimeter and on a centipede, right? So no peed or deep is on a senti, and the I is not on a senti leg, right? Or sent to anything. And there's no ent there, no entry, and no tier. Okay, so that, and I feel like that might be some kind of mining thing on the back of a neuron in a shadow pattern. So that's gone away, and you see that, and I think gluons might have a problem with that. So, so those things off. Okay, they're not snakes or swords. We've defined that none of nature's swords or light ever stretched. So it's always in the seas around the person and never stretched out. So the seas around the person are about a meter around, and the sea around a person when they're on the road is pure to them and no other there. Okay, and that's for everything and everyone that wants to be on their own. If they want to be on their own, they're on their own, and there's no reason or cause for anyone else to be shadowly there. So there isn't, and death sorts that out for you, because death doesn't let that happen, because that's a law, and that's true. Thank you.